Do you think that Minnesota state representatives or representatives in any area for that matter should have to take an IQ test? Well, Minnesota, clearly you don't. Um, Here's Representative Michael Howard. He's a DFL Democrat out of District 51A, which covers Richfield. Richfield, if you don't know, is a suburb of Minneapolis. You see Minneapolis right here. Here's Richfield right here. So it's considered a suburb of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, as the Twin Cities. Now I'll get into why I would love it if we had some more intelligent politicians in Minnesota, specifically on the left, because we're a left-leaning blue sanctuary state. But if not, then I wish they could at least look objectively at a situation without putting on their political left, Mayor Fry, Tim Walz type spin to everything. But so I'll get into that in a minute. First, I want to play you a video. A local guy, he got detained by ICE, and he's not even an illegal. Let me play this for you. I'm sure you're going to feel real bad for him.
Tonight from a Minnesotan who says he was detained for following and recording ICE agents in Woodbury. Ryan Eklund shot this video of agents warning him not to follow them on Monday morning. He did keep following them, and they eventually boxed him in and removed him from his vehicle. I talked to him tonight about the experience.
About 5 ICE agents descended on my vehicle, opened my door from the outside. An additional ICE agent went into the back seat behind me, put an arm around the headrest and around my neck in an effort to detain me, and clicked my seatbelt, at which point all of the officers pulled me out of the vehicle and put me to the ground.
Before that, no, hey, get out of the car, you're under arrest. They didn't say any of that to you?
None, no. At no point did they ask me to open the door, get out of the vehicle, tell me that I was being detained or arrested for any reason. It was opening of the vehicle, removing my seatbelt and pulling me out of the car to the ground.
Is that where these scrapes and bruises come from?
That's right.
So this is all Monday morning, then they take you where?
They take me to the Whipple Detention Center, through the crowd of protesters in the front of the building, back into what I assume is the back area of the building, a large loading dock area, where they ask me some basic information. I trade my handcuffs for leg cuffs, and I'm marched through the facility into a khaki-colored detention room with a large concrete bench, where I sit until approximately 30 minutes later when another individual enters the room who's another detainee.
Do you think this will make you an activist? You said you really weren't one before. I mean, how's this whole experience made you feel?
That's a good question. I think ultimately I'm still processing it. If I had to do it over again, I can't say that I would make the same decision. However, I'll say that if I had to change places with somebody, I would want somebody to be recording ICE agents if they were detaining a friend or a family member.
Do you have an issue with ICE's stated purpose of finding people who are criminals that are here illegally and removing them?
Not at all. And I wish that was, at least in my opinion, what they were doing more of. What I see being the case far more frequently is fear and uncertainty being brought up in our communities. And I see the problem getting worse and not better. I think that if ICE was here to genuinely do the job they're designed and ordered to do, they would not only be getting assistance from local law enforcement, but being welcomed by the community, and that's simply not the case.
Eklund says he was detained for about 9 hours before being released without being charged. Today, DHS was in court arguing that following and recording ICE agents should be illegal. A judge has yet to rule on that. Constitutional lawyers believe that following and recording law enforcement is protected under the First Amendment.
Well, of course, it technically is. It's your right. They're public roadways. You can record. Nobody's saying you can't record. This guy was following them around. He was following them around. He even admits that there were multiple contacts. This was the third contact with him. He follows him around. Is Ryan Eklund, an expert on Minnesota law and the ICE and immigration and customs process and removal, and apparently he knows better how that they could do their job better, and following them around. I guess he was just maybe trying to help out and get them on the right path as far as how to do that. What an idiot! What a complete idiot! He got his 15 minutes of fame. Now you're wondering why the ICE agent went in the back seat and grabbed him around the neck, and they were so insistent on arresting this guy or detaining this guy for just following them. Well, let me show you this.
The same day, 2 Chicagoans were charged after allegedly using their vehicles to ram into federal vehicles. The Department of Homeland Security says there was another alleged vehicle ramming incident just blocks away, and that one was caught on video. Tonight, the Department of Homeland Security says there were 2 separate alleged incidents of drivers using their vehicles to ram into other vehicles with federal agents. According to a federal criminal complaint, Marimar Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz used multiple vehicles to strike a vehicle driven by federal agents in Brighton Park yesterday. Prosecutors say Martinez and Ruiz used their vehicles to box in the agent's car. Court documents say an agent, unable to move his vehicle, got out and fired about 5 shots at Martinez. DHS says yesterday Martinez allegedly attempted to run over agents and was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. Martinez drove off, but paramedics found her at a repair shop about a mile away from the scene. An ambulance took her to the hospital where her gunshot wounds were treated. Ruiz also drove away, but prosecutors say police found him and his vehicle at a gas station about a half a block away. This video, captured by a witness shared with ABC News, was taken at Kedzie and West 40th Street. We slow it down to show a uniformed officer pointing a gun. Ruiz's SUV is also seen at the gas station. Court documents say it's the same gas station where agents later detained him. Prosecutors say the 2 were allegedly part of a convoy that followed agents after a CBP operation. And tonight we're learning about an apparent second incident involving a driver allegedly ramming a federal vehicle. This video captured from about 6 blocks north. Here you see the driver of a black SUV ram into the back of a white pickup truck with flashing blue lights. It's not clear who is driving the SUV. The SUV chases the pickup down Kedzie towards the direction of protesters. A second black SUV slams into the first one, and what appear to be uniformed officers jump out. That video has been widely viewed with the claim it showed the original attack on federal agents, but DHS says it's from another, what they called, quote, vehicle assault. DHS also says that unidentified suspect is in federal custody after attempting to run ICE agents off the road. Several agents were taken to the hospital, but it's unclear how they're doing tonight. As for Martinez and Ruiz, both are in custody, charged with assaulting, impeding, and interfering with a federal law enforcement
SUV. They were able to push that pickup truck right down the road. You think it's inappropriate for these guys to stop Ryan Auckland, who follows them around, videotaping? Who cares about videotaping? Nobody cares about videotaping. Following them around after contacting him twice and telling him not to do that. You know, were they justified in actually arresting him and detaining him? I don't know. I'm sure he's going to try and get an attorney and go after them for that. But these guys are just trying to do their job. And some knucklehead like Ryan Auckland, what's Ryan Auckland's expertise? He's a real estate salesman. He's got a small YouTube channel and he talks about real estate. He had, just like Renee Good, apparently decided that he was going to be a little bit of an activist, and he had just dropped his child off at school before deciding to start following these guys around.
So getting answers at noon on a police shooting that happened last week at the Roseville Police Department. That was where a 36-year-old man allegedly rammed his car into a police cruiser with an officer inside. Here's CBS News Detroit's Jordan Burrows with new information from the Macomb County Sheriff's Office.
We learned the officer-involved shooting back in the Roseville Police Department parking lot on October 13th was justified. That's according to the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. We also learned the suspect who has not been named and will not be named until he had his arraignment, is a 36-year-old man out of Roseville, has no criminal history. Here's how Macomb County Sheriff Anthony Wickersham and also Roseville Police Chief Mitch Berlin described what happened.
Well, this is just the danger of the profession.
Macomb County Sheriff Anthony Wickersham and Roseville Police Chief Mitch Berlin deemed it a targeted attack, and here's why. The suspect showed up at 4:32 in the morning into the Roseville Police Department parking lot and drove around for about 5 minutes until he tapped the back of a marked police car, waited a few more minutes, and backed up his silver Pontiac G5 registered to his dad and rammed it into that same police car.
Guys, this guy just rammed me.
An officer was in the vehicle, and he and two other officers who were on their way to another call immediately surrounded the suspect, ordered him out of the car, and when he did, he was holding a hunting knife. He wouldn't drop it after the officers asked several times. They shot at him 7 times, hitting him 6.
In this situation, the 2 officers had drew their firearms. The 3rd officer did have a taser deployed.
That guy lived. He was shot a number of times, but he lived. Am I making my point? That officer was probably doing a report or something in the parking lot, and he gets rammed. You still think it's inappropriate for ICE agents to stop and detain people who are following them around in their vehicles? These vehicles can be weapons. How about this one?
Whoa, 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 whoa! Texas, please. Come out of the car. Come out of the car. Come out of the car. Open the window. No, he's in proceedings. He's good to go. Let me get my blade. Go in the window. Watch out behind you. Watch out. Holy. Watch out in front of you. Watch out in front. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Cut it off. Cut it off. Now. Cut it off. Turn off the car. Cut the car. Cut off. Come out of the car. Come out of the car. Come out. Now. 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 Now.
You see how dangerous that is? Those guys are just trying to arrest this guy. They got him boxed in. They could have shot him too.
All right, here with reaction, ICE Director Todd Lyons. Todd, I mean, if that doesn't educate the public about these ramming incidents, I don't know what else will, on top of what happened. You know, previously, we now have 3 in recent days. Very dangerous now. Do you tie a lot of this danger to the rhetoric of people like Tim Walz, who compares ICE to Gestapo?
Yeah, Sean, unfortunately, when we hear elected officials calling upon individuals to impede or obstruct, ICE law enforcement operations nationwide, you're going to see incidents like this. And that was a video you're probably not going to see on mainstream media, right? That actually shows exactly what's happening. You saw the officers and agents attempting to apprehend a criminally illegal alien, and there they are using their weapon, using the car as a weapon. The lead vehicle, the ICE vehicle, the gray one that was struck, that officer had to go to the hospital with neck injuries. And every day, Sean, this is what the men and women of ICE are facing.
It's shameful that the politicians use this against the law enforcement. ICE now, because ICE has flooded Minnesota to try and get some of these criminal, illegal aliens off the streets. If Governor Walz, if Mayor Fry, if they would just work with law enforcement. I just saw a stat the other day. So in about a month, they've arrested 12 to 1,500 illegal aliens. 300-400 of those were criminal illegal aliens. Others were here illegally, which is a crime. But over the past, I don't know how many months, what the time frame was, but we in Minnesota, specifically, not in Minnesota, because in my agency, if there's an ICE detainer, we'll hold them for ICE and release them to ICE. But in the metro, in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, if they arrest somebody for, let's say, DWI or domestic, and they see that they have a detainer, so it pops up on their jacket, on your record when you get run, when your driver's license gets run, when name and date of birth gets run, there'll be a warrant that'll pop up, and it'll be a detainer, an ICE detainer. They won't honor that, so they won't contact ICE. So they'll arrest this person. They either can post bail or not, or, you know, have their first appearance and be released, and they won't ever contact ICE. And so they have this detainer, and they've done that for 1,000 people. They've processed people for other crimes and then released them back onto the street, even though that they're illegal aliens, or just illegal aliens who have been detained for a crime, and release them back out. So that's 1,000 people that ICE could have just gone to the law enforcement center, gone to the jail and picked up and been done with it, and not had to go into these neighborhoods to find these people. That's what people maybe don't understand, is that these sanctuary cities, that's what they do. They have a valid detainer, a warrant for their arrest, a federal warrant for their arrest, and they get arrested for another crime. Now, I'm local law enforcement. I can't, even if I run somebody in and see that they have a detainer, I can't arrest them for that and hold them, because we're separate. But if I arrest somebody for some other valid crime and run them and see that they have a detainer, we can contact ICE and they can pick them up. And that would be the safest way to do it. They have a detainer, it's valid. That's what ICE is doing right now. They're going out and finding these people in the community who have these detainers. Well, in Minnesota, at least in the Minneapolis area, at least 1,000 times recently, people have been arrested for other crimes and could have just been, ICE could have just been contacted and gone to the jail and picked the guy up or the woman up after they have been released. When the jail's going to release them, they should just contact ICE and say, hey, this person has a detainer, you know, we're going to release them, and come and get them, and you can have them for your detainer. We do it for other things. We do it for warrants for other agencies. If we arrest somebody and we see that they have a warrant for an agency in Minnesota, or an out-of-state agency that wants to come to Minnesota and pick that person up, we will contact them and we will arrange for them to come and pick them up after they've dealt with the whatever judicial process they need to go through here. Then we'll release them to the next agency. If they have to answer for something in another agency, we'll do that. It's the same thing, except that immigration has now become this hot topic for the left, that these poor people. It's just asinine. So remember Representative Michael Howard, Democrat in District 51A, okay? Michael Howard, Democrat in 51A. Let me show you the final video I want to show you. Man, these local news outlets are just terrible as well. It's just really, really frustrating.
Videos of ICE agents detaining people across the state, and one of them has sparked an intense backlash that we've been reporting on, reportedly showing agents detaining 2 employees at a Target store in Richfield. Ian talked to the man who took the video and has the latest on where those workers are tonight.
You doing all right?
Huh? I'm not doing all right.
Chaotic moments at the Richfield Target last week.
You good? What's that? You good? All right.
As Border Patrol.
Notice how this video was taken, okay? It's TikTok or something. It's some social media. I think it's TikTok. So he's recording them. He's in Mr. Bovino's face right now, recording him. No problem. He's recording. So he instigated this contact here. So
Commander Greg Bovino and federal agents stopped in.
Hey, you guys Americans? Huh? None of your business.
The encounter captured on cell phones by bystanders as back and forth turns to 2 Target employees being tackled and detained.
You or what?
Do that. Look, they're grabbing you. Look, they're grabbing you.
As one video ends.
Christian, do you have somebody you want us to call?
Others begin as one of the men shouts that he's a citizen.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Get out of your ice.
And then they put him in the car.
Mike Trench was on his way to Target for groceries when he saw those federal agents, deciding to pull out his phone and record.
It was abhorrent. It was terrible. The manager was super upset. She was screaming. She was as loud as she could be. She got right up to him when they were putting him in the car and just said, I have their documents.
2 employees were detained. State Representative Michael Howard says he's spoken to them and they've both since been released.
I can tell you that they are U.S. citizens. They were injured during this violent arrest.
Homeland Security said on X that one person was arrested for, quote, assaulting federal law enforcement officers. Howard disagrees with that.
Border Control's account saying that they assaulted agents is what I would say is folks can believe their own eyes. Plenty of video that showed these workers violently being arrested. Greg Bavino himself is the one that asked these workers, are you U.S. citizens?
Howard says he understands some online saying these actions come after verbal insults were thrown at agents, but says that doesn't warrant treatment like this.
Because someone said a naughty word, that allows them to brutalize United States citizens for expressing their constitutional right. That false equivalency is, the gap is unbelievable.
Why are you kidnapping her?
Howard says his understanding is that one of the men was dropped off hours later in a nearby Walmart parking lot.
In both instances are just a sort of terrifying and egregious situation.
Now, I have reached out to Target for a comment on this, and Jana, I know you have as well, but we've been told that there is no statement coming from the company on ICE activity. Jana?
Yeah, Ian, just a simple no comment. And so that the young men are out of custody, no charges, nothing?
Yeah, I asked Howard what the current situation is with them, because he's the one who's kind of been working with them and speaking with them. He says they're both out of custody right now. Obviously, we heard the situations with them, one with the dropped off at that Walmart, the other one detained for a long time as well, but both are out right now.
All right. And one of the things that we have covered, and maybe you got to this and there's so much going on, but, questions about, people are asking questions about can DHS go into these stores or ICE or Border Patrol? And the answer is a little bit complicated, but it's yes.
No, it's
I know you and I have talked a little bit about this, but yes, I mean, it's sort of this quasi public private space as well.
All right.
Anybody else can go into Target. He can go into Target too. These guys, these 2 guys who got arrested at Target, instigated that contact. They whipped out their phones, thought they would be heroes. They're both clearly Hispanic, so I'm sure that they thought they would get a rise. Maybe they think they're get a payday. I don't think they're going to. But of course, Representative Michael Howard probably is looking for that too. Obviously, what a weak man. So let's go back. Let's show you the video. This violent arrest.
And 4th turns to 2 Target employees being tackled and detained.
Okay, watch. Okay, he's screaming at him. He's videotaping him. He's saying "F you, F you." Okay, this agent is not looking for any contact right now. Do you see that? This agent is not looking for any. He's not doing anything except trying to go into the store. He's trying to go into the store. He's getting screamed at. Okay, you can scream at him. That's fine, and you can videotape. Great. Now, watch what happens. You see this? The agent is trying to go past him to get into the store. He actually speeds up to try and go around him, to try and get past him. And he jumps in front of him. He jumps in front of him.
Look.
What's the agent supposed to do? He jumps in front of him to instigate this contact, right? And then look at, he's grabbing me. Obviously, he's looking for this payday. I don't know the name of this.
As one video ends,
Christian, do you have anybody you want us to call? My mom.
Others begin as one of the men shouts that he's a citizen.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Out of your ice.
And then they put him in the car.
Mike Trench was on his way to Target for
Mike Trench. Again, what a hero. Look at this knucklehead.
I can tell you that they are U.S. citizens. They were injured during this violent arrest.
Homeland Security said on X that one person was arrested for, quote, assaulting federal law enforcement officers. Howard disagrees with.
Listen to what Howard says. Have you paid attention to Jacob Fry, mayor of Minneapolis, when he came out and talked about the shooting of Renee Good? What he said? Because that agent said he fired in self-defense, right? And Jacob Fry said that was bullshit. Self-defense claim was bullshit. Listen to the representative here.
With that,
Border Control's account saying that they assaulted agents is what I would say is folks can believe their own eyes. Plenty of video that showed these workers violently being arrested. Greg Bavino himself is the one that asked these workers, are you U.S. citizens?
Howard says he understands some online saying these actions come after verbal insults were thrown at agents, but says that doesn't warrant treatment like this.
Because someone said a naughty word, that allows them to brutalize United States citizens for expressing their constitutional right. That false equivalency is, the gap is unbelievable.
There you go. That's what you get from the left. Yo, here, let me share this. If you wanna, here's State Representative Michael Howard. Here's his information. This is who he is. If you want to call your state representative and tell him what you think, I would say let's contact Michael Howard and say, why don't you start supporting law enforcement instead of making up these stories? He said everybody can see with their own eyes on that video what happened. Yes, you can. You can see that agent is trying to get around that guy, and that guy instigates that. Thank God there's somebody recording behind him. I mean, it's a beautiful picture of this guy screaming at him, videotaping him, trying to make contact with him. The agent speeds up to try and get through the door and get past this guy, and this guy backs up and gets in his way to initiate the contact. I don't know what happened with the other guy as far as the why the second guy was arrested. I know that there were two guys there when this happened. What a disgrace. Representative Michael Howard, Democrat, District 51A. He covers Richfield and whatever, the surrounding area. What an absolute embarrassment. Mr. Howard, why don't you stand up, support law enforcement. These guys are out there doing this job, and we got to deal with people like you. That's it. I've had enough. This is Steve Loomis with Walking That Mile. Like this video. Comment, what do you think about these videos? Do you think that agent was wrong, or do you think that guy got in his way, and you think Michael Howard needs some contact from the citizens of Minnesota and telling him to stand up for law enforcement? I think you should. There, I gave you his contact information. Send him an email. Give him a phone call. That's what he's there for. He's a representative of us. Give me a like. Subscribe.